It's week 41 of the golfing calendar, and it's time to talk golf, solve the world's problems, and, in the case of Nick O'Hearn, drink a bit of wine. Ping will help you play your best. Contact your local golf shop or professional to arrange a Ping club fitting. And the Golf Clearance Outlet. They beat everyone's prices.
Wow.
Now, here's the former world number 16, Nick O'Hearn, and 15-year tour pro Mark Allen. This is the #1 Australian golf podcast. Talk Birdie To Me.
Why just Nick? What are you doing?
Oh, so you can have some, but Nick is the one who typically is the wine go-to guy.
I'm the wine bringer.
There you are.
So,
Whoa,
there we
nice. It used to be the cork kind of being edged out, but now it's
now
that.
it's the
Yeah.
Do you know when the screw tops first came in, that was regarded as a bit kind of not
Cheap.
Yeah, it
Well,
was.
it's
But now
cheap.
everyone does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just if you only go through half a bottle, then you got some left in the fridge. Better than sticking a dirty old cork down there and you're getting half.
What
a
is this,
cork
by the
in
way?
there.
So this is one I got recommended by a friend, Gathering Field. It's a Pinot Noir from Yarra Valley. Yeah, something different. Gathering Field by 1,000 Candles. I've never heard of it, but let me have a sip.
So can we just give a little bit of a cheers to Minwoo, Pamps, and Ben Eccles. Well done, lads.
Aussie success.
Well done.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Well, good. That's good.
Oh, that's lovely.
That is good.
It's Gathering Field. That's gathering well in my mouth.
I might start drinking again.
We're nearly 2 minutes in, and all we've done is talk about wine.
Well, we could.
Can I just say this, please? Golf is booming, and let me tell you why golf is booming. It is the worst day in the history of Australia here at Australian Golf Headquarters, and the car park is chock-a-block. It is full as a goog. It's it's just another day. It's not like a set day. It's not. It is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
When you
How
say the
many
worst day, you
people-
mean the weather, right?
The weather is a disgrace.
I was going to say, what happened? So
The weather is a disgrace out there.
it's Melbourne. Just wait 5 minutes. You'll be fine.
I'm actually going to do my masterclass today indoors. I'm not going anywhere near. I'm not going outdoors at all.
Well, hang on. That must mean, what, you're going to chip or putt or something?
No, I'm just doing putting.
Putting. Okay.
Putting. A good one too.
All right, good.
Good one today.
Good.
Where are we going to start? There's stacks to talk about. Come on, let's talk about Minwoo. Getting the
Minwoo.
30 under par.
That was incredible. Yeah, he actually, in baseball terms, he hit for the cycle because of his scores. He had 62, 64, 65, 63, so 4 in a row.
Yeah.
That's kind of like hitting for the cycle anyway.
Yeah, that'll do us.
Because it's the single, the double, the triple, and the home
Yeah.
run. Very low scoring at the Macau Open. They had a typhoon earlier in the week, so the course got pretty damaged, and the greenkeepers apparently did an amazing job. Preferred lies first couple of days. Scoring was insane.
Yeah.
30 under par.
Grainy greens too. I caught a little bit of it. So to shoot 30 under on grainy greens when you don't play grainy greens too often, that's a mighty effort in itself.
It was good to see him playing as well. They
he's a machine.
He was obviously the standout in the field. His world rankings are just inside the top 50, but he was expected to win. So there was a lot of pressure on him going into the tournament.
That's one of the great things about Minwoo Lee. He plays golf for fun.
Yeah.
You know, he can't play enough. He'll go anywhere. He'll play anywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure
he will.
I'm sure he will.
Well, for the right amount.
For the right price.
I'm sure he got a little bit, but he genuinely looks happy playing golf.
Yeah.
Minwoo played in Macau in a typhoon. You're sitting over here, Mark Allen, saying,
right.
a bit of rain outside. I'm going to do a masterclass inside today. I can't go to that. I don't want to get the hair messed up.
Yes. I've actually put forward to my golf club that when my name and others of my ilk go down, so the fair weather players, our name should actually be printed in yellow, all right, as in cowards. Okay. And if it's raining, we may well pull out.
Oh, God.
I don't want to play in the rain.
What's it called? Fair weather golfer.
Fair weather guy.
FWG.
I am a fair weather golfer these days.
It was a great win by Minwoo. First in a couple of years since he won the Scottish Open.
Yeah.
And another great win by another fellow Aussie who we know and love, Rod Pampling.
Yeah, Pamps is incredible.
That was a wire-to-wire win, by the way. Actually, that was two because Minwoo Lee had a wire-to-wire win as well.
That is correct. Did you play much with Pamps?
I did.
I got to play with him quite a bit as well.
Yep.
Well, when I say quite a bit, a handful of times. I got to play with him. When you talk about effortless power, that's what this guy had. Effortless power.
Very strong.
Yeah. A hockey, like a ground hockey, not an ice hockey, ground hockey background.
Really? Was it?
Yeah.
Well, he was under the Gary Edwin. He was one of his guys, which is more of the arm swing rather than the body on the backswing. Didn't really rotate the body much on the backswing, but threw the ball. My goodness, the speed.
A tiny little backswing. When I got to play with him, a tiny little backswing, and would just Roger it past me by 30 or 40 every time.
Yeah, he ripped it.
Incredible.
One of my favourite things about Pamps is he loves wine too.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a big wine drinker. So.
And he's one of the good guys too.
And he's one of the good ones.
He?
He unfortunately he did beat me at the World Match Play one year, so I still haven't forgiven him.
Did he really?
Yeah. It was. He got me in the second or third round one year. I can't remember. But
is that one of the years where you beat Tiger?
No. As I said, I saved my good form for those years.
So when you beat, actually, it always gets back to you beating Tiger somehow. When you actually beat Tiger once and then again twice.
Yeah.
Who ended up rolling you out of those events?
So the first time it was Jeff Ogilvy. In the quarterfinals.
Did he go on to win that year?
He went on to win.
Yes.
And then the second time was Henrik Stenson in the quarterfinal.
Oh, that's fair
He went on to win.
Oh, okay.
And then another time I made a quarterfinal. Steve Stricker beat me. He went on. Whoever beat me seemed to go on to win.
Was that the Steve Stricker one at Metropolitan Golf Club?
Yeah. Bad story, that one. We've told that before. We won't go there.
And the other win that you and I were right there for was Ben Eccles. And to say, he turned his mid-round, right around, was incredible.
He did. Yeah, got off to that slow start at the WA PGA Championship. We were doing commentary on the Fox Sports KO. And, he had the 6-shot lead to start off with. Yeah. And we were talking at the start of the coverage, okay, these always come back. Always. But we were due a blowout.
Yeah.
But funnily enough, it started coming back. Yeah. He what did he three-putt two of the
first
couple
of three putts. Couple of three-putts early.
Yep.
And Kit Biddle made a couple of birdies early. And it was whittled.
Three shots at one stage?
Whittled it down to 3. And then he went whoosh after he held that bunker shot on the ninth hole.
Yeah, it was a great win. 8 years between drinks for him. First one was as an amateur, New South Wales Open. And now second one as a pro. Yeah. Very impressive. And the other big winner?
Go on.
In Australia?
Who?
Australian?
Who?
Mal Baker. He actually won the most money out of any Australian this week because he caddies for Taylor Gooch on the LIV Tour.
But Gooch got rolled.
Gooch got beaten in a playoff.
Yeah, that's
correct.
Right. That's right. But he still made how much cash?
$2.25 million from the LIV Jeddah tournament.
However, he'd be on a straight 10, wouldn't he?
Straight 10.
Straight 10 deal.
Yeah. But then Gooch won the season-long bonus, which was $18 million US. So
he gets
another 10% there.
He gets 10%. It's another 1.8.
So he basically got $2 million over the weekend. US.
We need to get Malcolm Baker onto the program.
We should actually.
We actually should.
Yeah.
He's probably got his own manager these days, knowing Mel.
That's true.
The way he's going.
Yeah.
That is incredible. There's been a couple of big stories just ticking along that we just missed last week, so we might as well talk about them now. The world rankings.
Yes.
LIV have been denied the world rankings.
Mm-hmm.
You and I were lucky enough to interview Gavin Kirkman, the CEO of the PGA, yesterday. He assured us things were moving along quite well. I believe, Gav. I've heard differently. I've heard that talks are off, is what I've heard. That's what I've heard. But if Gav says things are moving along, then things are moving along. What can you do?
Yeah, maybe you should tap into your Texas Tech connection and find out, maybe.
Yes, I should. That's right.
Anyway.
I'll do that. But what does that say, Nick? I mean, you've been over there. You understand the wavelength that a lot of the players are on. And we do know that there are people in both camps. And when I say both camps, PGA Tour and World Ranking camps, they're on both. So I can see how it would be easy to deny LIV if you were mean-spirited.
Yep.
But what does it mean for LIV Golf if they're not going to get world rankings?
It's an issue. It really is an issue for LIV Golf because Greg Norman has touted all along that, yes, they'll be coming. But the problem is they have some roadblocks, as we know, the 54-hole, the no-cut, which I heard Peter Dawson from the RNA talk about that a little bit. He said, look, we can work around that format a little bit. The issue is because it's more of a closed shop. You know, guys are playing against the same 48 players week in, week out. And again, I've heard some different stories floating around, and there was a good point brought up by a reporter in the US. I can't remember what his name was, but he mentioned, imagine if Steph Curry got invited to play. He got a contract to play and live. Yeah. All of a sudden, if they're giving world ranking points, Steph Curry could have a world ranking.
Correct way.
And he's never done anything golf-wise in his life. So, so we're going to see 4. So we're at a critical point in LIV Golf for this week, because next week, this coming week is the team championship. Yeah. And I love that format. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that.
It's their best week.
It is their best week.
Yeah.
So the team aspect is a difficult one for the world ranking points as well. There was a bit of a story earlier in the week about someone in a previous LIV Golf event where he didn't actually play as well as he could have because it was going to affect a teammate. So then we're getting into grey areas there as far as are you competing at the highest level when your teammates are involved as well. So that's a bit of an issue. Look, Bryson DeChambeau is a great example at the moment. He's ranked outside the top 100 in the world. Really, he should be in the top 20 or 30, I would imagine.
Of course he should be.
There's been talk about the world rankings. Why don't we go more down the data golf rankings, which is to do with strokes gained?
Yeah.
You'd have like a power ranking in a sense. Maybe they could rank him that way because he's probably, because they do that strokes gained ranking in the LIV Golf, he's probably ranked somewhere in the top 30 in the world in that.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a possibility to do it that way. But given there's only, everyone's playing the same field week in, week out, there's only 4 people that drop out. Yeah. Because they're in a critical point now, as I mentioned earlier. They have these 4 players that are dropping out. And I think that's going to be Jed Morgan, James Peart, Chase Koepka, and Siwon Kim, who's basically finished last in every event.
So they're
he's finished almost last in every event, and he's made $1.6 million this year. That's pretty good, right?
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, how many? 14 weeks.
Yeah. And then they have an issue of people who are guaranteed to stay up, the long-term contracts like Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson. If they play horrible, they're going to stay up and they're going to keep playing. Yeah. There's 2 captains that are going to stay in, but they should be dropped, Lee Westwood and Martin Keimer. So they have all these issues around who can come in and who can flow out, and I think that's where the sticking points are.
So I've seen other tours with, I'm going to say no-name players that get world ranking points, but their world ranking points only go down to about the top 8 players who've, won first to 8th. And if you win, you don't get, let's say, whatever it is, the 500 points that you might get for winning somewhere else or whatever it is. So I always thought you could kind of give world ranking points, but it would only be to the top 5 or 6 players.
That's an option. Maybe give it to the top 10 players each week on LIV.
That's it. So if you finish in the top 10, you're eligible for some world ranking points. If you have a cracking year like Gooch or any of the other guys who have won multiple times, then you're certainly not going to get the same average as the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour players, but there's something there for you.
It is an issue, and something needs to be resolved because we want to see these players. Cam Smith, our own Cam. Yep. I mean, we want to see him play majors for years to come, and he will, obviously, given he won the Open, and there's an exemption that rides with that.
Yeah. Well, he's only got 4 years left.
Is that what it is?
He's got 4 years.
5 years.
He's 5 years into every tournament after the Open. He was lucky the Open was the last tournament these days, the last major in the year these days. So he's had 1 year, and now he's got another 4. So he's got to win another major to get the extra 5 years. Yeah. That's how it works.
But the world rankings are basically there for who gets in the majors at the end of the day. Yeah. It's not for who gets in the PGA Tour or the European Tour. It is for who gets in the majors. So the majors could have a little exemption category of their own. They can actually go outside the borders and go, look, we're going to give top 5 on the LIV Tour. They can play the Masters. Yeah. Top 3 play the Open. They can do that.
They could do that.
That is a possibility.
Yeah, and probably for the ones who aren't already exempt.
Exempt, yes.
Yeah, that's how you do it. So all the guys who are exempt, DJ, Brooks, Smith, all those guys are already in. They don't count. So if you went off that, if it was top 5 get into all the majors, if you're playing LIV, it might dribble down to about 9 or 10 in some cases, which would be fine.
I think so.
I think that'd be fine.
Yeah. No, I agree. But they're at a real crossroads right now, and the talks between the PGA Tour and the PIF and all that sort of thing that's going on, I mean, that's going to go well into next year now. They're not going to finalise anything by the end of this year.
So when are we going to see what LIV's schedule looks like next year?
They haven't put anything out yet. I want to know when LIV Adelaide is on, because I'm hoping it's not going to clash with any of our tournaments here in Australia, which originally I heard it was going to.
So
I hope not, because that would be devastating for our local players. I don't think they will, though.
They can't. Greg surely would understand that that can't happen.
It shouldn't.
So I'd be staggered if he did that.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
it may well not be Greg's fault. It might be someone else's fault. But surely Greg's flying the flag saying, "Hey, listen, please don't put it in this week."
Yeah, we don't want it the week of the Vic Open or anything like that next year for sure. So
That's the last thing. Ben Arn?
yes, I was going to go to something else, but that's okay. Yes, Ben Arn got suspended from the tour for was it 3 months?
Yeah, for a Korean cough medicine that had something in it.
Yeah.
Now,
So they do drug testing on tour. I used to have to do it when I was over there.
how often did you get rolled?
Well, it was funny. If I ever had a break, maybe I didn't get rolled, by the way. But
I noticed you avoided that question initially.
I have no comment. Every 3 or 4, if I had a 3 or a 4 week break and I came back and played a tournament, funnily enough, I was the pick to.
You're the guy.
I'm the guy. So they say it's random, but it's not really. But I would say probably once a month, once every 6 weeks, I would think. And the worst thing was, because basically it's kind of humiliating in a way, because you got to stand there and drop trousers and
Someone's got to watch.
Someone's got to watch,
So
which
you
is
haven't got a fakie.
no, exactly. and if you've taken a leak on the 16th or 17th hole, you come out of the scorers, because when they get you is when you come out of the scorers and you get the tap on the shoulder, hey, you've been chosen to blah, blah, blah. They hang with you until you do it, because they don't leave your sight. I mean, you got to go eat. I started just drinking, Gatorades, whatever, just to get some fluids in myself. But the problem is then it dilutes it. The other thing is, if you give a diluted sample, sorry, that doesn't work. You got to do another one. So then, hang on,
gosh.
it's a pain in the butt. But he got done for some sort of banned substance, as you mentioned. His mum gave him some cough medicine from Korea.
So do we know whether the substance in the cough medicine was a performance-enhancing drug, or was it, like Warnie, a masking agent of a drug that well cause you to hit the ball 50 yards further or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So, but it's it is out there. Those things do happen every now and then. The PGA Tour tends to cover these things up. I'm actually surprised that they did announce that Ben Arn was the guy. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Well, he's not exactly a poster boy, is he? They could torch Ben Arn and they won't get a kickback.
Yeah. What did you think of Lexi's performance in Vegas?
I thought she played fantastic.
Incredible.
Even par on a PGA Tour golf course, one that's not short, I thought was absolutely sensational. Now, the cut was 3 under par. She shot even. She was a bit nervous on that last putt.
Understandably.
I felt so bad for her because it flashes up on the screen. She was 100% for putts 6 foot and under
Oh, no.
for the first 2 rounds.
Oh.
And here's her first, she's got a 3.5, 4 footer to, maybe push for the cut. It was never going to be that, by the way. It was always going to be a 3 under cut. And, it was a horrible looking stroke.
Well, I think she bogeyed 2 holes coming in. So she actually was on the cut line for a while at 2 under, but it was always probably going to go to 3.
Yeah.
I've played that event many times, and it's typically a 4 or 5 under cut.
Yeah.
The course, as you said, it's not short, but it plays short. It's very firm, quite wide open off the tee. It was the ideal course for Lexi to play. And I heard what she carries in a bag, and I couldn't believe it. She carries a driver, a 3-wood, and then a 2-iron.
Say that again.
A driver, 3-wood, 2-iron. No 5-wood, no hybrid.
A today 2-iron?
Yeah. Well, it's a driving iron of some sort.
Right. So the 2-irons today, because I just know my 4-iron's got 22 degrees, which is outrageous. 3-irons used to be 20 degrees. So 2-irons 17. I reckon the 2-irons got like 17 or 18 degrees.
Yeah, that's true.
Can she get the thing in the air?
Oh, she flushes it. Yeah, I think she used it quite a bit out there, but that really kind of surprised me. But great effort from her.
I thought it was brilliant. And to tell you the truth, if she played again this week and played as well, some of those early nerves, you'd be used to it this time. She might get off to a better start. She may well make the cut. Who knows?
I agree. I think, there's probably some other girls I think that would be great to have them out there to try as well. Like Angel Yin, who won the LPGA event. I think she'd be a fantastic pick to play on the men's tour.
What about Rose?
I don't think she's long enough.
Okay.
No, she's not long enough.
What about Lynn? Lynn Grant.
Oh, yes.
Lynn Grant.
Lynn Grant would be a
an
beauty.
interesting one.
Yeah, she would be a good one, actually.
Do you think we'll see more of this, though? Do you think it's going to happen more and more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could.
I think it could. I think this time of year,
Yes.
it does give you a little bit of interest. And these sponsors this time of year, they want interest. And even though the PGA Tour has sponsors lined up, this is how the Seniors Tour got started. So Arnold Palmer used to be kind of involved with the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
They had so many sponsors. There was a waiting list for sponsors to look after the big tournaments on the PGA Tour. So Arnold, pretty smart character, he said, well, hang on a second. We've got a lot of old blokes who wouldn't mind playing. Why don't we start a Seniors Tour and this can be the nursery for the waiting list because they were so desperate to get involved with golf. So...
when you had all those legends as well, just sort of, at that age, you had you had Nicholas, you
Trevino,
had Trevino.
all these superstars, yeah.
Speaking of Trevino, our buddy Ray Mack
Yes.
just qualified for the A-grade club championship at Kingston Heath, your club.
Hang on, when you say A-grade, is that the championship or is it the next level down?
Well, you should know, but I believe it's the next level down.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
it's still very
it
good.
was still impressive. So
I did notice, and I don't want to put my club in, but I'm sort of going to put my club in.
yeah, why not?
Not many people break 80 in the club championship. My club is full of very, very good players.
Not many clubs play stroke. That's the thing. They're always
Yeah.
playing Stableford.
In the club champs,
Oh no, not the club
sorry.
champs. But I'm saying
Yeah.
that they what do they play stroke once a month?
once a month in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's no big deal. They're so attuned to playing in the middle, it's no big deal. But when the club championships come along, it's a different beast for them, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, I agree because all of a sudden you've got the gold-plated board
Yes,
in the clubhouse
that's
where your
right.
name's going to go up. A little bit more pressure comes
It's a
along.
big deal. The
And
club
all-
champs are a big deal.
They certainly are. Did you ever win a club champ?
Now, listen, it's a very much a sore point
Oh no,
in
another
in my
one.
family.
Another one.
So I'm the only one in my family not to have won a club championship.
Really?
Mum won one at Shep and a couple at Huntingdale. Dad won one. My brother won one at Huntingdale.
Wow.
I was 4 up with 5 to play at Huntingdale.
Oh no.
And I was going to be the youngest ever Huntingdale club champion. And I got rolled on the 37th hole. So it still
Jeez,
hurts me, Nick.
that's
Thanks,
tough.
Thanks again
So
for bringing it up. It's great.
my
Good on you.
apologies.
A question on Ray Mack. Is he going to fly into Kingston Heath in a helicopter?
Yeah, sure. He probably
'Cause
will.
he's big on that. He sounds like a real wanker.
Oh,
Well, you should see him dress. He's
Uh,
the best dressed golfer I've ever seen at club level.
no, he sure is.
He's a bit like Doug Sanders.
No.
The way he gets around. Got beautiful shoes, beautiful sweaters.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing with him this week, so
Where
at the Heath.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll let you know what he wears.
I want you to get up and down from that bunker over there on the 9th, and I'll see you on the 10th.
I'm going to refill my glass.
Yeah, no, I knew you were.
Like the podcast? Oh, maybe tell a friend. Drop them a text or share it on your socials. This is Talk Birdie To Me with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
So do you have a little cheese board with that red wine you're drinking?
No, I should have brought that in, actually. I'll remember that for next time. Hang on, I'm supplying the wine. Dan, maybe you get the cheese.
It's a very nice wine, I have
That's
to
lovely.
say.
Can I just say this as well? There is that much regard now for the Ping Global results. It's almost time for a little offshoot podcast where it's just the Ping Global results. There's that much. There's that
Yes.
much interest in it.
Yes.
And while I'm mentioning Ping, and a big, again, thanks for your contribution. The golf clearance outlet, Sam Colosimo. Just Google golf clearance outlet. Go there, get fitted, do the whole lot.
Absolutely.
I was talking to Daryl, our sound guy,
Yeah.
the other day. You know what he's doing for Christmas this year? I don't think he's giving away too much. He's
Go on.
taking his young bloke into the golf clearance outlet. He's getting him fitted for his first set of clubs.
That is
Oh,
sensational.
How good is
Fantastic.
That
Spe-
is sensational.
Speaking of getting fitted, by the way, I went into Ping today to get fitted for some woods.
You didn't get fitted, did you?
First time in my life.
You got fitted. What
I-
was it like for you getting fitted?
It was bizarre because I've told you before, on tour, I was known as the most least maintenance
Yeah.
guy. I mean, they'd give me a club and I'd just hit it and I go, yep, like that. No, I don't, blah, blah, blah.
That's what you say, though, but no one else has said that to us.
Yeah, funny that. Least maintenance, yeah. High maintenance might be the next one. So,
But we never ever got fitted because
no, back in the day, no.
we just knew what we liked.
Yeah. Well,
Simple as that.
with the technology now where they can just take the club head out and they just tweak it, do this, do that.
Try
it
this,
was
try that.
amazing. But so I was down in Moorabbin and Matt Austin's the Ping guy down there, and we just went through the whole shebang. And I got these G430s in the bag now to try. He gave me a few to take away to have a hit. And I tell you what, in the simulator, I was reaching my old numbers.
Were you really?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was actually curious. I was wondering when I got over the 100 mile per hour, swing speed. I thought, oh, you beauty, I'm actually not bad.
Here we go.
I went out and I was probably around averaging between 102 to 104, and I said I'll really go after this one, and it just ticked over 105.
You jumped out of your shoes for a 105.
Yeah, unfortunately, and it's interesting.
That's hilarious.
I talk about this in my book. Between 100 mile per hour and 105 mile per hour, for me, it was about 3 to 4 yards. That's all I'm getting. 3 to 4 meters maybe, or 5 meters. I don't know, whatever it was.
Is that because of the ball spin, or what was happening?
I don't know what was happening.
Were you coming down sharper, or you came down later and that made you sharper into the ball or something?
Maybe, but that 5 mile per hour difference when it's 115 to 120, all of a sudden that turns into 20 metres.
Yeah,
it's
exactly
unbelievable. Right. So the faster you swing, if you're gaining those same gains, you get more distance.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way the ball's designed. So it's exponential if you are a 120-something mile an hour golf swinger. Yeah. I mean, the effect is a hell of a lot more than you and I at low hungies.
The other thing I got from there is I snuck a little PLD answer, the Ping answer putter, and this thing, it looks like the Dark Knight. It is beautiful. No lines or anything. It actually looks a bit like Cam Smith, but he doesn't use the Ping. But this thing is incredible.
You know my favourite thing about Ping? My favourite thing about Ping is that original answer, it'd been copied and copied and copied and copied and copied and copied, and now Ping have almost got the best version of it because they've actually copied and improved on the copies of the guys who have been copying them.
Yeah, it all started with them.
Anyway, well done. I still. Now, hey, did you get fitted for irons as well, or just the woods?
That's coming just before. I'm going to get the new S blueprints, but they're not out yet, so I'm waiting for them to come down, and I'll.
Have you
I'll
said I want to be number one in Australia for those, please? Have you put your foot down?
Whenever they come, they come. It's all good. So.
What do they look like? Are they a bladey looking thing, or is it
cavity blade? Yeah, very popular on two of the blueprints, and now there's this new S blueprint coming, I believe.
So the S blueprint would be a sort of lookalike of what the boys on tour are using, but it's a little bit more help for the...
I think so. Well, I think the tour guys might have already started using them. I'm not sure, because the tour guys always get things a little bit ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
So, but it'll certainly be an upshoot from my iBlades, which I got about 8 years ago.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, my honeymoon period with the T150s Titleist that I've got is well and truly over. Right. And they're the best clubs I've ever had.
You love them?
Yeah, I absolutely
beautiful.
I love the look of them. I love the feel of them. I love everything about them. They are the best.
Well, I've always had the Titleist Vokey wedges, and they're good. But I'm going to get the new Ping glides, so we'll see how they compare.
Glide wedges? How much bounce?
Don't know. I don't know yet.
What do you mean you don't know?
Well, they're not out yet. I haven't seen them yet.
What's your standard bounce?
Well, I have 6 degrees, but I'll be around that, 6 to 8.
And will you go 50, 56, 60? What's your...
No, I'm just a 54, 60 guy. I just have 2.
You just have 2?
2, and I manipulate the heck out of those 2.
Like Tiger.
Does he?
Yeah, he's only got 2. He's just got a wedge.
And then I've got a pitching wedge. So I've got 3 wedges.
What are you going to do? Because all the modern wedges are around 46 degrees loft, and if you've got a 54, that's a big 8-degree difference.
Well, I get it tweaked to 48. That's okay. I just get the 6-degree difference.
Hey, people want to know this stuff, mate.
Yeah,
it's good. It's very, very important. You say it like it's nothing, but for people who are listening, they go, "Oh, that's what you do.
Well,
that's how you do it. You actually get someone to bend your club."
Hey, that's why you get fitted.
That's right.
So would you say that Ping helping you play your best?
Very good, Ben. Hey.
The company line. Look at him over there.
Well, we do have a message from Peter Coulson who messaged in about Ping.
Yeah, go on.
And he said, I'm trying to get my wife playing with my daughter and I'm really glad that Ping are looking after women. He's talking about the new Ping women's range, which is really, really good.
They are what they've done for women's golf and kids golf, all Ping especially, but everyone's trying. It has been brilliant. And that's, I think that's, we were talking about golf booming before. You walk in the car park here, lots of women are playing. I really believe the equipment now for women versus what it was when I used to watch my mum play, it's just,
it's incredible.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. No,
ridiculous, the difference.
Yeah, they got the Ping GLE 3s, so look out for those.
Want a bit of feedback, boys?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Lots of good feedback. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
First of all, and this is a bit of a long...
What about for Nick?
We never know. We never know, Dan. So.
Well, hey, you know what? If you get a whack, you get a whack.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, we're going to roll with it. First of all, from Marcus O'Callaghan, who said, "Hey, boys, loving the show. Listen to a few US golf pods, and I generally hear a lot of low handicaps. It seems like their handicapping system is a little bit subjective. They play any kind of social round, and the card from that round can be submitted, that they even include cards where there are gimmies. Is that right? And can you explain the differences?"
No, that is right. They're very liberal.
Liberal is a good word.
Liberal with how they hand their cards in. You would never do it here because it's so different here. They don't have club comps over there.
No.
They don't have comps. So we have a Stableford or a par comp or a stroke comp or whatever comp every single time. And we are required to sign a card. We're over there, you just kind of play. You get on the first tee and you negotiate what your handicap's going to be for the day, and then off you go. You negotiate how many mulligans you're going to get. You negotiate the gimme distance. You negotiate everything on the first tee.
Yeah, you have a mulligan. Yeah,
that's
for
it.
sure.
That's it.
Yeah, what about in Europe, or is it largely America?
They're kind of in between us and America.
I think so. Yeah,
somewhere
I
in
think
between.
Have more the club comps.
But yeah, look, I know this because I've spoken. There is talk about gimmies being encouraged. I think we're going to be the last country in the whole world for that to happen.
To speed up play.
To speed up play, especially in Stableford and par competitions. If it's unmissable, just let's get moving.
Gavin has written in response to you guys talking about Ludwig Åberg.
Yes. Oh, well, good technique.
Very good.
Åberg there.
Yeah. So I'm going to read this one because Dan has a glass of wine in him and he can't quite get this out.
Damn.
So this is from Gavin. Åberg, Ludwig, is a breath of fresh air to golf. Walks to the ball, aligns, hits on the greens, sees the line and putts. Simple game. Get rid of caddies and time the fools on greens.
Time the fool. The fools who are taking too much time.
I don't mind that. They time them everywhere, really.
Of course they should.
They should.
They should get a warning. You know, they should say, "Hey, listen, we had a bit of a look at your round, and we're not happy with the amount of time you're taking. You mightn't have got a warning today, but we're telling you, sharpen up because we don't like the amount of time you're taking." And they could say that with a smile in their voice and a smile on their face, and then the player knows. That's just the first step.
You had a suggestion, or we had a suggestion for a top 5 last week from David Craig in Brisbane. He said top 5 redos.
Yes.
Shots you'd like to redo, which, Nick, you're going to have a look at this week, yeah?
That's correct.
Have you already done it?
I've already done it, yes.
Oh, well, we have some suggestions.
I'm always good for suggestions.
Okay. And could the top 5 become like a top 10?
Probably.
Maybe.
Well, maybe you could just insert and take a few out or do whatever.
I already had a 6A and 6B. So.
Oh, okay. Well, here's one from Chris Payne. Chris Payne has said, 2006 US Open, 18th hole, wing foot Phil Mickelson's tee shot. The last hole was a shocker.
Shocker.
It was a shocker. I actually didn't have that. I had his second shot as a possibility. That was my 6B.
Yeah.
So, but I like that, the tee shot. But the problem was, if he does it again, he'll do it again because he didn't hit a fairway that day. He was hitting it sideways. So it wouldn't be a good second shot.
How he can score on a US Open course hitting it sideways.
Well, he was hitting it that wide where he hit it to, the rough was trampled down.
Yeah.
So
this one's from Ant. Was it An Byung-hung at the 2019 President's Cup duffing a chip on the 18th in his singles match, thereby sniffing out any chance of a draw? Snuffing out, I think is what he meant.
And that's actually Ben Ahn, who just got done for
I can't remember Ben
doping.
Ahn stuffing the chip up. Can you remember him
I
stuffing the chip up?
I can't remember. Was that at Liberty National?
2019, that was here at Royal.
Yeah, it could have been.
Might have been here at
Could
Royal.
have been here
I
at
reckon.
Royal, yes. I think you're right.
All right, here's one from Gianluca. Gianluca has said, what about every shot Van der Velde hit on the last at Carnoustie?
Funnily enough, Van der Velde does make my top 5.
Does he?
And only one of the shots.
Just one of them?
Yep.
He was the unluckiest golfer in the world with the 4-iron over. It just hit the wrong spot in that.
Okay, we're going to discuss all this.
Okay, good. Good.
And the last suggestion for the top 5 redos is from Eric Lowe. Eric has said, what about Greg Norman, 86 US Masters, final round 18th hole approach shot.
Yep.
His 4-iron, that is in my top 5.
It's in there.
It's in
All
there.
right, so we got some accurate feedback, listeners here. It's good.
Yep.
Now, we've got some other feedback here as well. Now, this is, you know how you said if you're getting a whack earlier on, Nick?
Yeah,
It's not really a whack, but it's kind of funny at the same time.
Okay.
Now, David Mulhall has posted, this is on a post that when we posted how you'd beat Tiger, we posted the video of you beating Tiger.
Okay.
And David said, he's tagged his mate Josh in this. He said, "Hey Josh, did you know this? It's brand new information to me." And Josh has replied saying, tagging David again, "Wow, I'm surprised this hasn't been talked about more."
What's the sarcasm emoji?
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
I don't know how do you signal sarcasm. I always just go ... is my way of suggesting there's a bit of sarcasm.
What was his name again? Sorry.
David was the first bloke, and
Okay.
Josh was his mate.
Well, let me just say,
We're
David
talking
and
about
Josh,
too much.
if you've beaten Tiger Woods a couple of times, trust me, you'll be talking about it a lot as well.
Even once.
I'll be wearing the T-shirt. Some more feedback here, boys. These are from Apple Podcasts, where people can review, and these are great. This is from Teacher in Oz. If you're an Aussie, you love golf, you're going to love this podcast. Mark and Nick are the perfect combo.
Oh, that's nice.
And this one from Marky Mark. I wonder if that's Marky Mark from the Funky
Wahlberg,
Bunch.
yeah, he's a big golfer.
Could
Loves
be.
golf. Moved to Las Vegas so he could play more golf.
Yeah, speed golf.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yeah.
With Mark and Nick's experience around the globe on all things golf, there isn't a better show to keep up with the latest news. Highly recommended. That's
Well
very
done,
nice.
Marky Mark.
Very nice. Thank you.
Andrew has said, Marco, you mentioned on this week's podcast, this is last week's
Mm,
podcast, your New Zealand Open story. The first time I heard that story was way back on your open mic episode when you were battling cancer. The most inspirational 45 minutes of TV to watch. You have saved so many lives since then.
Oh, that's nice. I was never going to do that open mic, but Mike Sheen made me do it, and I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
really glad I did.
Spread the word.
Two more comments. Well, a comment and a question. The first comment is from Straight Lines. Is Jason Norris the nicest bloke on tour? He looks like a bloke you'd love to have a couple of beers with.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I can vouch for Jason Norris. He's
Yep.
he's an absolute belter. I think I mentioned last week that he actually had this horrible bike accident.
He did. At Coolum?
At Coolum, that's
Yes.
right. And he could always ride around. And he was riding back after one of the functions to his room, and there was those concrete things where you park kind of your golf buggy up against. He didn't see it. Went over. Lost all of his teeth.
Yep.
They had to redo his
Oh,
jaw.
it was
It was horrific. And for him to come back and play half decent is just a miracle, because he was in real trouble for a long time.
Certainly was. Ripping guy.
I think he was eating through a straw for 6 months.
Oof.
Something like that. It was very, very bad what happened.
Sounds like one of those diets that Alana puts you on.
Oh, come on. That was self-inflicted. Don't worry.
Okay. Last one here, a question from Jamie. Jamie, hey guys, do golf sunglasses do anything in particular that sets them apart and makes them different to normal sunnies?
We get a lot of sunglasses
we had
questions
I haven't had that before.
on this podcast. I think so. I think the technology is suitable for golf, but I'm always big on the lenses. They seem to be the ones that work the best.
I think the latest ones are enhancing what you're seeing on the greens, especially. Not so much on the fairways and that, but it's more for green reading.
Yeah.
I definitely look into them. If they do have a golf version, whether it be, I don't know, Oakley or Bolle or whoever, Kanan, who are the ones that I always wore. For sure.
And
Look
you
into
can
them.
click out some lenses and
Yes,
click in others and all that kind
exactly.
of stuff. I think that's pretty important.
You know what I reckon? I've got a feeling that's like those high performance caps out here in the pro shop.
Hey, don't laugh at the high performance stuff, mate.
I can tell you now, a high performance cap is a cap. There's no difference. They whack high performance on there and they whack 30% on the price. That's what happens. I'm calling it.
Hey, can we get some kind of little musical intro to the Ping Global results, please? Because it is now got a life of its own.
Oh, well, yeah, you have to think about what sort of music you think would suit it, Nick, what you would like.
Well, maybe the violin by the sounds of it. I don't know.
Wow, the violin came out last week, so...
It did. Yeah, okay, I'll have a think about that. Okay, time for the Ping Global results. We started off with Minwoo Lee, obviously winning in Asia on Macau Open.
Any other Australians playing there?
There was a New Zealander was next best. Ben Campbell finished tied for 9th. We had Andrew Dote tied for 11th. And Zach Murray tied for 17th. There were actually a lot more Aussies, but that went a long way down the list.
Good on you, Zach.
No, it was very impressive. It's good to see Zach playing well
I want
again.
to see Zach playing well again. I do.
Certainly do. On the PGA Tour, at the Shriners Championship in Las Vegas, Tom Kim won. Well, he had his 3rd win in 15 months. You know how old he is?
I'm going to say he's 23.
He is 21 years old.
Oh, my
He's
God.
had 3 wins and he is the youngest person since Tiger Woods to win 3 times before he's at the age of 21 or better. Unbelievable.
Can I give you something about his win that shocked me today?
Yep.
I'm a real sucker for the what's in the bag that gets sent around. Normally, a professional will go extra stiff, then a little soft extra stiff, and then maybe in his iron will be another soft extra stiff, and then he might go down to S400s, and then it might be, S200s in the wedges.
Yep.
So they get softer and softer as you go down to your lob wedge. According to Tom Kim's What's in the Bag, he did the opposite. He had X100s in his wedges.
Okay.
Right. And it just went less and less. So I think he had Project X 6.5s in his irons. And then in his hybrid, he had a 5.5. It went backwards.
Went the other way.
It went the other way. I thought, they've made a mistake.
Means you hit it further, but maybe not straighter. But he's pretty accurate, I will say that.
Oh, he's 21 and he's won 3 times.
I don't know.
It might be the way of the future.
Yeah, amongst the Aussies, Cam Davis tied for 7th. A really good result.
Yep.
Came home in 66. Harris and Endicott tied for 56. And also at that tournament, it was a weird one. Miscut. But, it's worth mentioning. There was an Aussie called Craig Hocknell. I've never heard of this guy.
Never heard of Craig.
He's like a teaching pro in Arizona and New York, over in the US, went to college and all that. And
Monday Cued.
No, he won the PGA's Southwest section, which got him a start in Vegas. It's like his 6th start on tour too. So well done, Craig, for playing. LIV Jeddah, the LIV golf event where Brooks Koepka defeated Taylor Gooch and Mel Baker.
Yeah, he went back to back, didn't he? Brooks won last year as well.
Did he?
Won the same event.
Well done. Very good. The Fireballs, they won the team event.
Who's in the Fireballs?
Fireballs is Sergio.
Yeah.
Abraham Answer, Eugenio Chikara, and Carlos Ortiz. So it's the Latino
That's
team.
That's very much a Fireball
very
squad
much.
there.
Team Aussie was the Rippers, and unfortunately they finished 11th.
God,
it's
they're the worst team.
Mark Leishman was leading.
LIV.
Mark Leishman was leading after round 1 too. But he unfortunately ended up finishing 32nd. The Aussies didn't have a great week, and Cam Smith, who was in line for that 18 million bonus, unfortunately didn't win it. But guess what? He got a $10 million bonus.
He got a $10 million bonus instead.
So
heart bleeds.
Yeah, I know. It's shocking.
He'll be right.
He'll be okay, Cam. Well done. On the LPGA Tour, they were in Shanghai, and Angel Yin won a playoff over Lilia Vu. Lilia Vu. Karis Davidson, a ping player, had an excellent week, finishing tied for 8th. Shot 68-68 over the weekend, and that moves her, importantly, from 97th to 87th on the rankings. Top 100, keep your card, and I'm pretty sure she's home.
She's home.
Yeah,
she's
for
home.
sure.
Well done, Karis.
Yeah. Grace Kim tied for 13th. Minjee Lee tied for 13th. Grace Kim was tied for 36th, and Lydia Ko from New Zealand tied for 50th. DP World Tour, Open de España at Club de Campo in Madrid. This is one of my favourite courses.
Looked okay,
I finished second there one year. I loved it. Yeah, you go down to, and especially Madrid. What a town. If you ever get the chance, go down into the city. There's a place called the Plaza Mayor, and it's where you get all the tapas and the vino, and it's fabulous. There's a bar there called the El Toro Bar, which is the bull bar.
Yeah.
And it's an ode to the bulls.
Right.
And it shows all pictures of bulls winning.
Oh, really? They've had a win.
Horns through the matador's ankles, and it's pretty gory, but it's well worth a look.
Hang on, photos or like drawings?
Oh, photos.
Right.
No, the whole thing. It's pretty graphic.
Wow.
Bulls' revenge.
Exactly. Because I feel sorry for the bulls. I mean, it's really bad what they do. But
it's
anyway,
disgusting.
It is what it is. But anyway, at the Spanish Open, basically, is what it is. Mathieu Pavon, a Frenchman, who chips left-hand low. That's getting more popular, by the way, like Matt Fitzpatrick.
Lots of it.
4-shot win over South Africa's Xander Lombard. John Rahm was there because he was trying to break Seve's record of 3 Spanish Open wins, which he tied last year. He finished tied 9th. Best of the Aussies was Jason Scrivener, tied for 20th. On the Asian Development Tour, Dean Lawson had a win.
Good.
Chipped in a playoff, which is incredible.
Gee, that's good.
At the second Indo Masters, and top 10 from the Asian Development Tour gets you onto the Asian Tour for 2024, and he's well in line for that. So that was excellent. In Japan, Brad Kennedy tied for 3rd at the Japan Open. Massive result there, which Aguri Iwasaki won. Very good result for
Never heard of Aguri.
No, fine player on the Japanese Tour.
I bet he's...
WA PGA, as we mentioned, Ben Eccles won by 5 in the end. You called 8 shots at the start of the day.
Well,
It
you've
was-
got to say something,
I
don't
know.
you? You've got to talk.
Yeah, but he won by 5 from Hayden Barron, which is a great week from Hayden because he flew all the way back from Scotland at the Alfred Dunhill to play the event. So kudos to Hayden
Bit
for
of-
coming
bit of-
all the way back.
Bit amazed with Hayden Barron. He hadn't been playing golf for very long.
Mm,
He's an impressive
he is.
looking player, an impressive unit.
Yes.
And what, Rookie of the Year last year
Rookie of the Year.
on the Challenger PGA Tour of Australasia.
Very good.
So look out for him.
12th on the money list last year, and he's got off to a great start this year.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
pedigree. His dad, Dave, I know very well. He used to play baseball.
With your dad.
With my dad.
And your
exactly.
dad played baseball for Australia.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He wasn't
That's
bad at all.
pretty good.
On the Champions Tour in the US, as we mentioned, Rod Pampling had a win there by 2 strokes. He went wire to wire over New Zealand's Steve Alker. So
What about
good
Richard Green?
Australasian event. Greeny finished tied for 11th. Stuart Appleby tied for 20th. And this was the last event before the Charles Schwab Cup playoffs. So they're
Right.
going into their playoffs, 3 series of events. And we had quite a few Aussies make it. All those guys, plus Mark Hensby and David McKenzie, made it through as well.
Sensational.
Good to see Macca
Dave
get
Mack.
through. So some great results for Australia this week all around the world.
And Richard Green's kept his card, hasn't he?
Oh,
He had
yeah.
to finish in the top 30 to keep his card.
I think
Is that right?
I think it's top 50 these
Okay,
days,
okay,
and he's
good.
24th on the money list. So
Nice.
he's
Smashed
set.
them.
He's made almost $1 million. It's great.
Has he?
Mm.
Good on you, Greeny.
US, brilliant.
Good on you,
That
Greeny.
Champions Tour over 50s. Maybe we should make a return, Mark. I don't know.
No, I don't think I'm up to it. No,
I think you should think about it. Hey, Nick, before we move on to the top 5,
I was going to say I'm not up for it either.
no, I'm not up for it. No.
before we go on to the top 5, Nick, you mentioned last week you're going to reach out to Sir Nick Faldo. Have you had a chance to do it?
No, I haven't, because as it turns out, he doesn't follow me on Twitter.
Ah.
I thought he did, but he doesn't. I'm going to have to work some back channels, and I've started that process,
Oh.
but I haven't
I'll
heard
send
back
him,
as yet.
I'll send him. He follows
Does he follow
me.
you?
He follows me.
He follows you. Oh, come on. Have you played with him?
No, I never played with him.
Well, that's why he follows you.
Ooh.
Oh.
So Mal Baker and Nick Faldo are the 2 homeworks we got to try and get.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. We've got so many people we need to get on this show.
Oh, we do.
It's ridiculous. Top 5 this week, and it's courtesy of David Craig, who mentioned he wanted his top 5. Remind me again.
Top 5 redos of shots that pros would like to do again if they had the
That's right.
chance.
That's
right.
correct.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
think he mentioned Tom Watson
Yeah, he
at
did.
Birkdale, 2009. He said that second shot. I was thinking about putting it into my top 5, but I'm not, because Tom said he hit the shot exactly how
That's
he wanted.
exactly right. I think he'll take the bounce again, but he wouldn't take the shot back again. He hit the shot perfect.
So, yeah, it didn't make the top 5 because he wasn't going to take a 9 instead of an 8 because he hit the right club. It's just, he got a bad bounce. So.
All right. So we're we starting at 6B,
Okay.
are we?
So,
We're not
no.
really.
Well, Mickelson I mentioned earlier. I
Yeah.
was going to say his second shot he should have redone. Should have just pitched out, knocked it
Yeah.
on the green. Makes 4, he wins. If he doesn't, he's in a playoff with
That's
Jeff
it.
Ogilvy. So that was
That's
the
it.
one for me there. But that was number 6. Same tournament. I know this man would love to have it again, and he's your favourite golfer,
No.
Colin Montgomery.
The shot out of a divot, his second shot,
Second shot, he wasn't in a divot, I don't think.
he said he was in a divot.
Really?
Yeah, he said he was in a
Okay.
divot.
Well, he changed from 6-iron to 7-iron, allowing for the adrenaline. But the
Yeah.
problem was he had to wait, because I think he might have been playing with Vijay Singh.
Yeah.
And if he'd have just gone up and hit it straight away, he would have hit a good shot
Yeah.
in the middle of the green. But he had
Yeah.
to wait and wait and wait. Monty, when he waits, is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Flared it right, ended up making double bogey and losing the golf
I'm
tournament.
with you.
Yeah.
I think it was a very, very old divot that had repaired. That
Yeah.
he was just, he does complain every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
You love to poke Monty, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Every chance
I
you
do.
get, you get a
Yeah.
bit of a jab.
I do.
Should we get him on the show as well?
Yeah, let's get him on the show.
Number 4 was mentioned earlier by Eric, Greg Norman.
Which one?
1986, the 4-iron into the final
Yep.
green at Augusta. If
Yep.
he'd have hit that on the green, made par, he was in a playoff
Yep.
with the great Jack Nicklaus.
Did you see the interview he did when he actually went around Augusta again? And they,
Oh, the 96
yeah,
one?
he said it was a 5-iron. He
Yep.
should have just. I
He
mean,
tried to smooth the 4-iron in there.
he'd birdied 4 in a row.
Yep.
He was trying to birdie 5 in a row to beat Jack Nicklaus at the Masters, and it was probably just too good a scenario in his head that he went for it. But when he goes back, he goes, I shouldn't have tried to birdie 5 in a row. I should have just hit the 5-iron, even if it came up short, 2-putt. I'm in a playoff.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
tried to beat him in a playoff,
Yeah.
but the thought of having 5 in a row to finish the Masters to beat Jack was probably too much for him.
And you think about playoffs in the history of golf. Greg Norman, Jack Nicklaus.
Oh,
I mean, we never got
never got
Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, did we?
No, not in the playoff.
You never get the two greatest.
No.
That's the thing. That would have been one of the greatest playoffs in the history of golf.
Yep.
Anyway,
I think the biggest playoff ever is Tiger v. John Daly. Remember that one? It was in
at the Amex.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
played
right.
that tournament in at Harding Park.
That was the
Yeah.
biggest one ever. And apparently, John Daly lost the playoff, got in his car, went straight to Las Vegas,
Yep.
and lost every cent that he made that day.
Yep, 800,000.
Gone.
Yep, went straight to Vegas. Okay, that was number 4.
He was very unlucky.
Yeah, I'm sure. Number 3, we had this mentioned earlier, Jean van der Velde at Carnoustie 1999 Open Championship. Now,
Which shot?
okay, so the tee shot I have no issue with. He hit the driver and it bounced over the burn. He got lucky.
Got lucky.
But you kind of need to bomb it down there anyway. It's a long hole.
Yeah.
The second shot for me, the 2-iron, it wasn't a 4-iron, it was a 2-iron.
Two-iron.
He tried to clear the burn and he thought, I'll bail right into the grandstand.
Yeah.
I kind of get that, but it wasn't the right play. If his caddy had said, look, here's a wedge, and hit wedge onto the green, 3-putt, and you win the golf tournament. Simple as that.
Can I?
Go on.
Have we got the protest siren, please?
Please.
Did you play that week?
No.
No. Okay. That week the fairways were like this,
I get it.
and where he would have had to lay up to, they narrowed the fairway, and it was really humpy and bumpy. I don't think he could have hit the wedge and got it to stop.
It's a wedge off a fairway.
Yeah, I know. I don't
mean-
think
Well, okay.
there was a couple of holes. Like there was one hole.
Okay,
There was a
okay.
270-yard run out, and we were hitting 6-iron off the tee, so it wouldn't run through the 70.
I
the
get it.
270.
I get it.
It was out of control.
Okay, hit the lob wedge 50 metres to the left, and
Yeah,
then
well,
hit
I
a
don't mind that.
8-iron on.
I don't mind
Okay,
that.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It was the wrong choice in my opinion.
I don't reckon he could have hit a 130-yard wedge
Okay,
and made it stop.
all right.
But the 50-yarder,
Yeah,
I'm with you.
very sensible.
Okay.
Okay, that was number 3.
The break
It's taken a while.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Yes.
the most famous missed 2-footer in the game.
Doug Sanders.
No, that was a 3-footer.
Oh.
2-footer to win the Masters.
Oh, Scott Hoke.
Scott Choke, as he called himself later on. 1989 in the playoff against Faldo on the 10th green. He had a 2-foot downhill putt left to right. Bit of a smelly 2-foot,
Yeah.
but yeah, wasn't good.
But he had a 2-footer, then he had a 4-footer.
Yeah, I know. He did well to hold it coming back.
Jeez, a couple of tournaments.
He
I mean,
was-
Raymond Floyd hit it into the pond on 11. Scott
Yeah.
Hoke
And
he missed
Faldo
a
won that.
2-footer.
Yep.
It's handed Faldo 2 Masters.
And then, and Norman shot 78,
Yep.
96. There's
Well,
3 Masters.
When
Thank
we
you
get
very
Nick
much.
Faldo on, we'll talk to him about
Yeah. You
being
shouldn't have won any.
being gifted 2 US Masters.
How many times do you reckon Scott Hoke has laid in bed at night and replayed that shot in his mind?
Yeah.
So he was,
Can't imagine.
Scott was a member at Isleworth, where I was, and I used to see Scott down there all the time practicing, and he's possibly one of the more negative people that you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
He never brought it up, though, I will say that, but he always complained about his
Yeah.
game or something. So
Yeah.
anyway, okay.
I went to dinner with him once after a New Zealand Open. He came out and played especially. It wasn't long after that happened.
Yep.
And we were all like, it was still raw. Anyway, we came out. We went to this restaurant in New Zealand, and apparently the golfers used to go there after every tournament that they would play in Auckland. So he knew the golfers. He was a golfer himself. He came out and he brought all these beautiful. He just put everything down and said, "Oh, Scott Hoke, you joke, you joke!" Oh yeah, we just couldn't believe what he did.
No.
And Scott Hoke, he's just there. He's just shaking his head, the poor bugger. And the rest of us, we didn't know where to look or what to do.
Kind of got to laugh, though, don't you, really?
After a while. Wow.
I think
And my number one, you mentioned it earlier, but 1970, the Open Championship, Doug
Yep.
Sanders,
Yep.
3-footer, Lee Trevino standing to the side. When he went to pick up whatever was in his
Whatever it
line,
was, yeah.
you could see Trevino just back away going, no,
Yeah.
and then he ultimately missed it.
Yeah.
And, you know, the famous story about afterwards where he would get asked, look, Doug, do you ever think about it? And he says, no, I don't think about it much. I often go 5 minutes without thinking about it.
And then Rob, was it insult to injury? The next day when Jack Nicklaus beat him in the playoff, Jack
Threw the putter up.
Jack holds the putter on the last, throws the putter up in the air in celebration, and the putter came down and landed on Doug Sanders' head.
Yeah, he was a legend of the game, Doug.
I've just had a look outside. It's raining, and that means one thing. That means the masterclass is indoors.
Going indoors.
Indoors
Okay.
today,
Yeah,
Marco.
it's going indoors. You
All
might
right.
want to film it, actually. Why don't we do it live?
Oh, okay.
Do it live. we watched some golf on the weekend, and there was a couple of big head movements in the putting.
Okay.
Huge. You've spoken at great lengths about Rory McIlroy's head doing the wrong thing, and it's not going up early. It's actually his goes on a horrible tilting kind of look. It doesn't work.
Well, that's, as he's lining the putt up and he's looking at the putt. Are you talking about during the stroke?
I'm talking about during the stroke.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
talking about during the stroke, and it's. I know a lot of players, when they're told to keep their head still and don't follow the ball, it's not good. That creates anxiety, and I agree with that. I've always said that I think the real skill in putting is just starting the ball on the tracks, is what I call it. So if you line it up, you can kind of see the line. You just got to start that ball on the tracks. Now, if you're not following the ball, it doesn't work as well. But you don't want to move your head to follow the ball. It doesn't. I don't think that works either. And we saw a couple of heads come up very, very early. I got to watch Ian Baker Finch a long time ago, and I also heard Tiger Woods talking about this at Blue Canyon. So there's two players who I just love as golfers who did this, and that is the reason those two were able to keep their heads so still and putt so well is because they didn't move their head to watch the ball. They moved their eyes to watch the ball. And it works so much better. And your eyes can only go so far left in your head or right in your head if you're putting the other way. But once they're there, then you can actually move your head. Now, I tell people this, and I'm surprised how many people have never even thought about doing it, because a still head is one of the key things you can do when you putt. But if you're moving your head trying to follow the ball, quite often everything's out of sequence. The other thing that this does, when you don't move your head, it doesn't let your shoulders to go through quickly as well. So it actually kind of slows your shoulders down, and then everything can release. So next time you're on the practice putting green before you play, instead of following the ball with your head, just see if you can move your eyes to the corners and follow the ball that way. And you will not move your head nearly as much.
I love it. A great drill for that is you can actually put a coin down on the green.
Yeah.
Just behind your ball, as you'd mark your ball normally. Putt the ball and look at the coin and listen for the ball to go in. Don't watch it go in. Now, you're talking about moving your eyes. I understand that. But that's a good one to keep the head still.
Absolutely. It's a beauty to keep the head still. But if you're really anxious and you want to follow the ball, just move your eyes. And like I said, Tiger Woods, I heard him talking about it at Blue Canyon at the Johnny Walker Classic years and years ago. Someone just came up to a random bloke, came up and said, how do you keep your head so still under those pressure putts? And he just said, I move my eyes, not my head. And Ian Baker Finch, I just watched him do it.
Yep.
He was so tall, and he stood tall when he putted. I was just watching him, I could just see his eyes moving in his head instead of his head moving. Anyway, two of the best putters I've ever seen, they move their eyes, not their head.
Love it. Hey, are you seeing what's going on at the Eastern Golf Club here? The clubhouse.
I've only just been sent this picture.
Burnt down.
Unbelievable. It's one of the best golf clubhouses you'd ever see.
I know. I was out there about a month ago playing with Jordan Zunic. We had a game out there. They got this beautiful par 3 course.
Yeah.
I think they got a lot of rain recently where it shut down 9 of the holes as well. It flooded the course. But this clubhouse was magnificent. It was like being back in America, actually. It was a very Americanized clubhouse.
It was the comfiest chairs you've ever seen in your life.
Incredible.
But the whole thing has burnt down. Like the pictures that I'm looking at, not a little area, not like the pro shop or the kitchen. It looks to me like the whole thing has burnt to the ground.
Wow. Well, hopefully no one's injured and everything's okay, but thoughts and prayers to everyone out there at the Eastern Golf Club, because that's a tough one.
That's a toughie.
Well, that's it for this week.
We'll see you next week.
Exactly.
Good on
Cheers,
you.
guys.
Thanks for listening to Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen's podcast, Talk Birdie To Me. And if you're looking for some new gear, Ping is absolute top class. Ping help you play your best. Contact your local golf shop or professional and they'll sort you out. And the Golf Clearance Outlet, who beat everyone's prices. They're in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane and Perth, and online at golfclearanceoutlet.com.au. Got a favour to ask? Wherever you listen, if you get a chance to rate and review the pod, that would be fantastic. And if you subscribe, you'll never miss an episode. Talk Birdie To Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media, and sound design is by Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com.